What are you talking about? You're just gonna let her die? You're out of your fucking mind.
Not that Rihanna.
No, we need that in the world.
Not that Rihanna.
No, not the one I serve.
maybe Rihanna Thompson.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Rihanna, you better play it safe because we're gonna let you die. But
yeah.
Shine bright like a diamond, baby.
You must be used to all the finer things, infatuated by what money brings. Welcome, little mama and Gentiles alike, to another brand new episode of My Mama Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally worked to prove that aloe vera was not, in fact, the name of the plant, but the name of the nigga who discovered it. Come on! You think that white people discovered moisturizer? You think that was one of their things? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man AV. I'm David Bory.
Aloe goddamn Vera is a real human being who should be acknowledged in our history books and not just written down. We should see pictures of aloe vera. We should know that face.
It sounds like a dark-skinned dude with a toothpick.
Yes, he cheats on his wife, but that's not the important. That's not the crux of his life story. We only mentioned that briefly in the Ray Charles movie. Don't do aloe vera any differently.
Come on. Nor is it none of your motherfucking business. Come get this lotion.
Who the fuck cares? He gave us lotion and you gonna focus on that bullshit?
You gonna be worried about what him and his old lady? Listen, what's understood ain't gotta be explained.
Right.
All right? They got a system.
Ain't they still together? Then they must be all right. They must be just fine.
Come on.
Well, I'm Langston Kerman.
I'm David Bory. Let's introduce our guest before we get too deep down this aloe vera.
Yeah, we don't want to get further into the aloe vera conspiracy theory of it all. But our guest today, he's phenomenal. He's just a jack of all trades, a beautiful writer, performer, hilarious individual. We're both massive fans of him and all of his work. Give it up for the very funny Carl Foreman Jr., everybody.
What's up?
Yeah.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, man. I count myself among the little mamas. You feel me?
Come on.
Whoa, we got a little mama informant in the building.
Yeah.
Come on, this is big. You are the spook who sat beside the door.
That's a fact. That's where I am now. And in aloe vera's defense, when you discover lotion and you gotta like demonstrate it. You rubbing a lot of people. Okay. So to only have one extramarital relationship, that shows a high level of restraint for somebody like that.
Come on.
Just imagine how much lotion he's putting on the bodies of ashy people. You know what I mean?
Beautiful, gorgeous ashy people.
Also, imagine you were the first nigga to not be ashy.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
That's crazy.
Everybody else, there was a minute where everybody was ashy but him.
Except
he's like, hey, this nigga lips is not great.
Come on.
We need to see what that's about.
They must have literally thought this nigga was glowing. They must have literally been like, bro, you produce light. You are phenomenal.
He was broke.
Yes. They scrolled him on the side of the pyramids. The first one?
Damn.
And he had haters and they was mad. He tried to hit him, but he was too smooth.
He was too slick with it.
Roll right off.
Oh, yeah. Man, they were out here dusty hating.
Because, he discovered aloe vera, which means he also didn't know limits with it yet. He was probably the greasiest man that's ever walked this planet Earth. Just caked in the thickest layers.
The most innovative masturbator to date at that point.
Bro, I didn't even think about how he changed. A legend in 2 games.
Whoa.
A legend in 2 games.
TV Copeland of moisturizer.
And masturbation.
He was like, hey, you know how when y'all jerk off, it hurts a little bit? Not me.
Yeah. He's like, my man Mabundu's going to start a fucking fire over there.
You know how you can't even really finish because you're in a little bit of pain the whole time? That ain't my problem.
I'm not saying it's the real thing. I'm just saying.
I don't worry about bitches no more is what I mean.
Bro. Not that I ever did. AV.
I'm putting up Genghis Khan numbers if I was the man who discovered lotion.
No, that's fair.
If I had discovered lotion, there would be like, oh yeah, did you know 5% of all DNA on the continent can be traced back to David Bory?
Can be traced back to the lotion man.
Come on, that's how I'm going.
Mm-hmm. That's real. I don't disagree with you. There's no way I could remain loyal with that kind of power in my hands.
It's too much. It's too much for any one man.
Yeah, and it's the reason why we have laws against monopolies and the act to fight back against the power of corporations and the individuals at the top of them should very much be reflected in the story of aloe vera. Right? There's a reason Elon Musk should not exist, and it's because we know the allegory of aloe vera, and we know what's become of them.
Who took the patent away from this great African?
You
know?
I don't want to call out racist.
Got the lotion game cornered until, our countrymen invented Shea Moisture.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. Come on. Because Carl also, come on. Who say you come out? Come on. Salon, man.
Como salon, no?
Come on.
Mi padi. Na mi padio. Na mi company.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey.
He's about to get upset. You don't like it?
Hey. Come, Mr. Telly Man, telling me banana. Come on.
No.
I can talk to y'all too.
No,
wrong gang.
You're a bad man for what you just did. You said banana. That might be the most racist thing you said on this podcast.
I think so. I think certainly it's top 5 at least. That's when we do our recap of racist shit said on this podcast episode. That's gonna be the surprise sneaker, I think.
Yeah. I'll never forget it.
Carl, you came today with a conspiracy theory that I think we both immediately got excited about. We were like, this is exactly correct for the nonsense that we need on this podcast. It fits perfectly. And I think we thought that we had talked about this previously, and maybe it has come up, but it certainly has never been a very involved, in-depth conversation. But you said, okay, my mama told me.
Don't say you're an organ donor on your license because they won't try as hard to save you.
Come on. Speak on it.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory right there, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get my organs harvested. First off, let's start with just the very fraught relationship between the Black American and the medical community.
Absolutely.
That's why this makes sense to me.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was getting my first driver's license, I went to the DMV with my dad, and
what
they
state
were like,
is this? Where's this at?
This is in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. And
a lot of blacks around.
What? Just a wealth of blacks. A wealth of blacks.
Someone call it a chocolate city.
I love that you needed that for part of the picture painting. You were like, no, everybody, close your eyes. A lot of blacks.
A lot of, yeah. The chocolate city is 45 minutes down the road. Yeah. But yes, but we make better prestige TV.
Hey, come on, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, but the lady who's at the window was like, and do you want to register as an organ donor? And I looked at my dad, and he was like,
"Whoa!"
He's like, hey, don't do that.
He's like,
he just gave me that look. Like, he gave me that look like, as your daddy, I'm gonna veto it.
Yeah, I'm about to save your life real quick.
Right, because you probably gonna speak, and they may need to save your life, and we want it saved, and not being like, well, you know who could use a liver?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Wow.
And this is, and forgive my ignorance, I'm steepling to make this point work.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do black livers go better in black people?
I don't know if that's like directly a thing, but I think like any organs, I think if you share a blood type, probably.
So
it's probably the
I don't think that you have to match colors to match organs.
So wait, you're saying I could get in a car wreck, get my eggs scrambled, and wake up with a Puerto Rican brain?
Well, first of all, I don't know that we're doing brains yet.
Oh, okay, relax. Okay, fuck me. All right.
But if David comes on the pod one day and he's like, "Get okay." Hola la mamita. You'll know what happened.
I got this brain transplant. Now I'm wearing pointy shoes.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing brains quite yet. I think that it's mostly livers and hearts and kidneys and shit.
Okay, but I could get hurt and wake up with like a Polish heart.
Yeah, you have a Polish heart for sure, depending on if you match a Polish person's blood type.
Wow.
Yeah. I think my uncle, if I'm remembering this correctly, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure my uncle, who had a bunch of kidney issues, did get a kidney transplant when he was younger and ended up with a white woman's kidney.
Wow, a white woman's kidney.
Yeah, a white woman's kidney.
I didn't know they went male to female like that.
Yeah, it can be gender. Yeah, anything.
Is he like really sensitive now? Does he always ask to see the manager?
Yeah. Does he get mad when you guys are grilling out front?
I wish
in the backyard.
I wish this was a happier ending. He's no longer with us, and he really went to work on that new kidney. You know what I mean? He didn't treat it too good, but he was a cool guy, and I miss him sometimes. And yeah.
In the words of you, daylight come and we won't go home.
For a second, I didn't realize Carl was frozen. I just thought he did not like this line of humor. I just thought he didn't care for that one bit. He's like, nah, look, fellas, death ain't funny.
Oh, man. It's the final joke. What was the last thing we were talking about before we...
Well, I think Carl was telling us the story of your father telling you not to do this. And I guess the big question that sort of comes to mind for me is he tells you not to do this and you believe him? Are you bought in immediately? Do you remain bought in? Tell us that.
So I was like, you know what? I was like, my first instinct was like, organ donor, that sounds like a noble thing to do, you know? But the way he reacted very decisively in the negative on it, so I was like, you know what, this guy, he's pretty much held me down. I'm a rock with him, and so I'm like, you know, this is my first license. Like, I'm trying to just get that joint and roll up out of here. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think there's probably some truth to it. Is some, you know, I've done some independent research. I've gone on like the Mayo Clinic, and they're like, hey, you got to be declared brain dead at the least before someone can be eligible to receive your organs. I mean, to even be like in the organ donor pool. But I'm like, you know, still, that's a human making that call at the end of the day, right? It is like, no, this nigga brain dead. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, no, he gone for real. No, he gone. It just so happens that down the hall there's a very wealthy old ass white lady who needs one of these juicy kidneys. Like, and so
Yeah.
Big full kidneys.
yeah, it's like, look, and he was Muslim. He don't drink or nothing. That's a good living. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Come on, that rich, deep purple kidney.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you are suggesting that, because I thought you were suggesting that there's human error in this, that it's just like, hey, Tyrese, did you check room 2? And he's like, yeah, but he didn't check room 2. And now a person is dead that is, or quote unquote, not dead that is dead, whatever. That said, it sounds like you're saying there's something more sinister here, that it is truly people actively being like, you're as close to dead as we need you to be. We're going to give whatever you got to the lady that we're rooting for down the hall.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm leaving open that possibility because stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Like especially if you know, like, about American history, and you know how, doctors used to experiment on black people. And, like, you remember that a few years ago, there was some famous surgeon or doctor who had kind of pioneered a bunch of surgery techniques, and his statue got taken down from, like, outside of Central Park because it was known that he would experiment on black women and that kind of thing, and test out his methods on black women with no anesthesia. Like, so if that's a real thing and that guy was statue worthy, like, well, who's to say, that in some, I'm sure that this belief doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not like white people invented winter kind of thing, where it could be like, did white people do that, or did the universe?
Hey, buddy, ain't nothing unbelievable over here. So
yeah, we're in
but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, there's a prestige TV show that could totally hit this storyline.
Here's my question before we get to Langston's research. And I don't drive, obviously, so my shit stays in my body. The two of you, right now, currently, organ donors or not?
I'll answer first, as to give Carl a little more, even more runway to fly with. I am, in fact, an organ donor. I've declared myself open for business if somebody needs my shits.
You just giving it up, huh?
I'm giving it up like a goddamn floozy, baby.
That light-skinned pancreas, you think that's going to go into a human?
Oh, I think they like them pink when they put them in.
I know, like the secret food clubs where they, like, eat weird stuff, like in that Atlanta episode, where it's a human hand, Yeah, that was probably a nigga hand.
Yeah, I bet. I would never have thought that it would be a white guy's hand.
Wow. You guys never even considered that it would be a white person's hand. It was. You
can't just take a white guy's hand.
Well, I would say I would caveat by saying, what manner of white are we talking? Because there be marginalized whites too.
Oh no, I'm talking about a Panera Bread white.
Oh nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that hand is staying put.
I'm talking about Seattle's best coffee and a scone white.
Yeah. You're saying those hands are untouchable.
Yeah. Shakes when he holds his girl's hand as 5 black men walk past white. That's the white. You're not getting one of those. You can't just be eating those.
No.
I think I agree that it's less likely that a white person's hand would be taken. I think weirdly enough, media has influenced so much of what I think about that, because I've never pictured a black person's hand, because they always make it a white person's hand in movies and TV and shit. But if we're being honest, it probably is a black person's hand.
But then if you look at real serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, who was in the fridge, gay brothers from, that the masses, the news media was not checking for.
Yeah, he was eating up like the boys, the black boys.
That's what I'm saying. He liked it seasoned.
Damn. This is devastating already, and this frankly has
Tony.
almost nothing to do with
the conspiracy
where we started this conversation.
Well, can I throw in a little monkey wrench into my conspiracy theory?
Come on,
yes, please.
Throw it in there.
I'm currently an organ donor.
Whoa!
These niggas is going crazy. I'm the only real one out here.
You can't make me an organ donor if I ain't got no license. What's
up? David Bowie died in the desert 6 years ago. What are you talking about?
Whoa, what? Okay, we have to take a break, but when we come back, we have to know why you changed your mind and where you are now with your organ donation logic, your position in all of this. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Carl Foreman Jr. More My Mama Told Me.
Would you say that you're racist?
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
Look at my dog. He's as black as can be.
We are back. Carl Foreman Jr. just about to tell us why he flip-flopped, and now he's going to give up that sweet, juicy black pancreas to the white man.
Well, I've had to renew my license a number of times.
Sure.
And ultimately, I would say I am ambivalent on this matter, right? Because I do want to be saved, in the emergency. On the other hand, if I cannot be saved, could I help somebody?
Right.
Could I help a person? Right? I kind of wish there was like a thing, an extra little check mark, be like, give it to somebody in my family.
Right. Bump them ahead of the line.
Reserve this for a cousin. You know what I mean?
This kidney is for Marcus.
But now statistically, that is correct though. That family is the preferred way to donate, right?
I think
for
family, family, because of the likelihood that you guys have all the matching blood and other parts that make it so that the organ donation is simple and takes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I think to the larger point, you wish that you could be a little more like informed in where your shit is going, as opposed to just being like, yeah, take it, do what you want with it. I don't care.
Here's my question to the both of you, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Is there anywhere you don't want it to go?
Oh,
definitely not the Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, true.
Not getting out of my
Could you imagine you were the one who kept that going?
Nah, I can't be. That's not gonna be my Black History moment.
Fuck. Yeah, goddamn.
We should write a list. You could write a list.
I'd be pretty sad if there's a few people if I like kept Kid Rock alive. I think I'd be pretty sad. You know what I mean? Like you
be on your way out, like, oh no,
not Kid Rock, man.
Not
Come
him.
on, bro. This is
power to bye.
He's just machine gunning Bud Lights with my fucking liver in there. That don't seem right.
Oh
damn.
Yeah.
All right. Because that's the hard part, right? You don't know. Maybe you don't know Wiggles.
Plus, you got like personal vendettas. Be like, you better not give it to this nigga Craig.
Yeah.
That's what would be worse. If you gave my shit, to somebody who owes me $1,000, like, bro,
like,
and I gotta come back as a ghost to get my lick back. Like, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's tough.
You owe me a spleen, my brother.
Yeah, and I'm taking it back.
So, Carl, it seems as if you've completely changed your mind on this subject. Would you say, well, first off, is your father aware of the change that's happened? And would you say that this would scare and or disappoint him?
Well, he is no longer with us. So, this is beyond his scope a little bit. It's all right. It's been a minute. But I don't know. I don't know how we would feel about it. I think I had done it before, and he was like, all right, well,
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
I tried to help
But
the
I mean,
boy.
Yeah.
What do you want me? What do you want me to do, Charlene? I told the boy what's what.
Right. I mean, I think he had a similar reaction when I said I was going to be an actor. So, like, what, like, like, hey,
Yeah.
we just put you
That's
through
fair.
school. Got a good degree. Okay, just throw it away. Fine.
Man. Also, by the way, shout out to Will Smith for ruining a generation of young black boys telling their fathers they want to be actors.
Oh, man. Yeah, it ain't even cool no more.
But listen, hey, I would say, I don't know. I really go back and forth on it. Like, I might, like, I need a new license soon. I might not do it again. I don't know, like,
Oh, man.
Interesting.
Because I'm conflicted. I am conflicted over it. 'Cause I'm like, if I don't, because I don't know. Like, the point at which this decision is happening, it's out of your hands, right?
Yeah.
Like, most people
Right.
aren't going to be lucid enough to be like, and like, it's usually some horrible accident takes place, etc. Right? So who knows, right? So on the one hand, it's like, doesn't matter, but on the other hand, maybe. Right? I got kids. Is it my priority to, like, please save my life? And also there's a possibility of, like, that might not have nothing to do with whether or not they decide to save my life or not. Or if anything can be done about it.
Here's what I'll also say is that I don't necessarily know that I believe that not agreeing to be an organ donor guarantees they won't take something up out of your body. I'm personally of the belief that, like, how many people actually get to know whether or not a person was buried with all of their parts. And frankly, if I'm a doctor, maybe I won't take, or, the morgue person, whatever the fuck, maybe I don't take all the livers and shits, but I take one here or there that didn't agree to it. And who's going to know the difference?
I mean, isn't it a timing situation? I imagine even if you are a donor, let's say, God forbid you go to the hospital, you pass, your wife is there. I think they still have to be like, I'm sorry, we lost him. We're going to give his kid. Because, right, it's like, it's a pretty, I imagine you gotta act fast with that, right?
Well, I did a little bit of research on this subject, and I can tell you that that yes, there are benefits, and certainly it is true that you have to be able to harvest the organs quickly. They say in the 5 to 10 minutes after a person has been declared dead, the organs are already being damaged slightly because they are no longer receiving natural blood flow, which causes them to deteriorate. So within 5 to 10 minutes, yes, that all, it needs to happen quickly is the point inside of all this, right? Yeah. That said, we see it all the time of, like, within 5 to 10 minutes of the blood stops flowing. I think that they could easily accomplish that in just telling somebody that, like, their family is dead, and then sew up a little patch to cover up whatever access point that they got to.
I mean, because you're not going to see the body even naked. Or do you have to identify it naked? I never identified a body.
I don't think you identify the whole body. I think you just, like, hit the parts you recognize.
Damn.
So, Carl, I did do some research on your conspiracy theory that I would love to throw your way. We've already talked a little bit about the organ harvesting, the actual keeping of the organs. Interestingly enough, I think when I tried to look this up, the entire front page of Google is reputable sites. Like, it does not show you any, like, random bullshit like you often see in other conspiracy theories, which leads me to believe that this is a myth, quote unquote, that the powers that be are really committed to debunking. They do not want any false associations with organ donations that they claim are very legitimate and not, being harvested or stolen or forcing people to die, whatever the fuck. Like, this has clearly been pushed down on the Google pages that this conspiracy is not one that they want out in the world, and certainly are working hard to keep quiet.
Okay, so Big Google's in.
Big Google's in.
Yeah, it's pretty high stakes.
It is. It really is, though.
It's suspiciously reputable.
I would say so. I think most conspiracies I look up feed a stupidity. You know what I mean? Like if I look up, is Meghan Markle a robot? There are articles immediately that are like, yeah, the bitch a robot. Here's proof. And there's not one sort of like irreputable comment regarding this, even near the top of this page, which means a lot of people are working hard to keep it that way.
I think it's probably because the consequences are so dire for somebody who might need an organ, right? And if it's like, hey, I could have got, like, lives could have been saved, but you believe in fairy tales, that's kind of where it's coming from. Or yeah, because I do think it's like, all jokes aside, it's probably safe to put organ donor on your thing, on your license. But and that's probably why those conspiracy theories are suppressed better than, like, I don't know, Meghan Markle's a robot, or even how it was with COVID, right?
Yeah, but you would think based off of what you're saying that even like the COVID conspiracy theories would be treated with that level of like seriousness, right? That like in theory, it makes sense for us to have resolved this airborne virus effectively by helping to minimize the spread of conspiracy theory, right? More people would have been saved if we didn't sort of like dig our heels in and sort of suggesting that microchips were being inserted in our bodies.
I think the difference is that there was like a political benefit to a lot of people to push those conspiracy. I mean, like, even the president at the time was like, hey, I don't know if it's a great idea. Who knows? Not me.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it, but you shouldn't get it.
To that point, that does make sense. There is no political agenda here. This is strictly life saving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for real, you know what I mean? There's no money making to be had from this. Yeah. It does seem like it's truly a program in place just to help save lives.
I agree that I think that there's something a little bit sort of neutral, at least in the thinking and the intention of this space, right? And including to sort of unpack that a bit, the Mayo Clinic, when you look up this conspiracy theory, says that there is no real evidence of people being left to die or killed as a result of donating their organs. They say that hospitals' priorities, in fact, are to keep people alive, starting with the people in front of them. And there's no point in sacrificing a life for a life. That is written, I guess, in all doctor like mottos and hospital policies. Like that is just the way that hospitals supposedly move. And they say that as it relates to the concern of being declared dead before you are actually dead, they say that organ donors are actually given more checks than non-organ donors to ensure that the parts can be harvested quickly and effectively, as opposed to like if you ain't an organ donor, they might let you chill for a little bit because, what are we going to do? Save this shit? We just need to let you die and be dead for a minute.
Save this selfish fuck. All the buck stops here with all these punk ass organs.
Yeah. We can't use this. Let them sit. Let him fester, fuckface.
Mummify his ass.
Yeah, they say organ donors get more thorough and quicker checks for various reasons as it relates to the declaration of death.
Okay, so you're saying I should keep my status just in case they poke me a couple times and I'm like, oh, back to it.
Yeah, that's what they say. Now here's where I started to have a little bit of difficulty inside of this, is that one of the other common Q&As that they sort of try to take on is the question of whether rich and famous people get priority as it relates to organ donation. And they emphatically deny that claim. They say that there is no evidence or reason to believe that rich or famous people are treated with any priority, and that in fact it is completely based off of a computer data, like fucking algorithm and has nothing to do with prioritizing anyone. And that's when I go, hold up, motherfucker. I don't like that one bit.
Do you know of a lot of high-profile people, just to devil's advocate, do you know of a lot of high-profile / rich famous people who have received organs?
Dick Cheney got 5 hearts.
Nigga, for real?
Nah, it's not 5, but he's gotten,
he should be well dead. He was supposed to die a long time ago.
I think he's had more than 1 heart transplant, and if I'm not mistaken.
He's basically Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's had 5 heart attacks. I know that to be a fact. And he has had like multiple like crazy operations that the average person does not have available to them.
I feel like that's just God wants you out.
Well, he's just really lucky, I guess, you know?
Yeah, and that's like, come on, bro. Look, I get it. You're not saying that like if fucking Orlando Brown walks in, you're going to give him a kidney faster. But you're lying if you're telling
culture,
me that
you would. For the culture, you got to say Orlando Brown.
You should, because of everything he continues to give us. But you won't. I get that he's not necessarily a celebrity, quote unquote, life worth saving. But if Rihanna walks into the fucking clinic and needs a new kidney, she's gonna get a new kidney.
Right.
And there's no way you're gonna convince me that like she just goes to the bottom of a list and wastes her turn.
Right. Because she wouldn't let that fly.
Nobody would.
Yeah, you're right.
We're talking about an entire fucking fall of corporate institutions. This is billions of dollars at play. This isn't just a nice lady with a big old kissable forehead.
No, we need that bad gal renal system, you know, back.
Yeah.
In order.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't buy that part of it. And I think that's where, for me at least, a lot of conspiracy theory starts to be born, right? Is that like, it's not that I actually think that when they say the government is lying, whatever, that they're actually lying to us about everything. I think that 90% of the shit that they tell us the truth about, is kind of the truth. It's got bias cooked into it, but it isn't like completely false. But then there's that 10% that they are lying about. And we know they're lying about to some extent. And then that makes me go, well, I don't know what the other things are that may or may not be true. So now I don't believe none of the shit. And you just would do better for me, at least, to be like, hey, not for nothing. Look, if Al Pacino wants a new kidney, he'll get one faster than you, but that's okay. Everybody else is on even playing field.
Ooh, yeah, come on.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to let Al Pacino die?
Yeah,
no, he goes first.
I'm okay with it. I'm really okay with it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, where do we all stand on this? It's like half true.
Well, there's a few more things, pieces of research that I'd love to throw your way.
Hit it. My bad. Excuse me.
No, you're good. Maybe we should take our second break. We're going to take another break. We're going to be back with more Carl Foreman Jr., and then we'll be back with more My Mama Told Me.
I don't give a fuck who say what, blood. On crib.
Yep, we are back. We're still discussing with Carl Foreman Jr. whether or not that by agreeing to donate your organs, you are quicker. The hospitals will let you die quicker. I could have said that more effectively. I chose not to.
That's okay.
I found, and I think this will be interesting, fun for us to unpack, but I stumbled across this USA Today article from a few years ago. USA Today, take it how you want. I wouldn't say the most reputable news, but they sometimes do their best.
Not the worst. Not the worst.
Not the worst. They're not the worst.
Definitely not the worst.
But it's from, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, a article called Death by Donation. And death by donation refers to people who have given their informed written consent to be euthanized and then have their organs removed and donated. Had you guys at all heard of death by donation?
Wait, so how close do you have to be for that to work?
What do you mean close?
Like, what do you mean? Like assist?
Yeah. At what point are we calling the euthanasia?
Like you're saying healthy people are going in saying, I'm donating my put me down now? Like, I don't. Who are the people doing this?
I don't know that they're thinking about like good, strong, healthy people are consenting to this. I don't think you just walk into a place and go, "Hey, take my shit, please. I want to die." I think it's more in the case of people who are sick or dying, who then consent with the hospital to like expedite the decision. And it also I should be clear, this is not a practice in the US. It's in Canada and a few Western European countries seem to be the main sort of like the main folks.
Because I do wonder about that with cases of suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's sort of like, if you're going to go out anyways, maybe we get a couple, maybe we wet our beaks a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what.
But if it's a suicide, I don't feel like you would get the organ in time. Most likely, unless you came to the hospital.
Unless it's assisted. Unless you come in and you're like, hey, I'm going out anyways.
Death by donation.
Yeah. That's wild. I've never even thought about anything like that.
Yeah, apparently in certain parts of the world, you can have this consent. And part of the reason, and we talked about this earlier, that this is beneficial is because in the 5 to 10 minutes after a person is declared dead, the natural blood flow causes those organs to be less effective, to be less useful, whatever. However, death by donation would allow them to remove the organs while they are still in the best possible shape, preserve them, and make them ultimately more effective for the people that need them now.
Wow. I don't know what to make. That's heavy. That's like such a moral line that I don't
that has to
particularly have a side on.
It's got to be so highly regulated to be legit,
Well, yeah, I'm glad you guys brought up the moral line, because that is, in fact, sort of what the article is unpacking, right? That a bunch of people who I guess are responding to this practice and are critiquing it in part mainly for 3 reasons. First, they say that people with physical and mental disabilities have expressed not feeling valued by society, and they worry that this allowance, right, could be a subtle nod to lead them into making a more extreme choice, i.e. ending their own lives because they think that they are, in fact, useless other than the organs that can be removed from their bodies.
This is going to sound like a cop-out, but this is something that I have to think on more than the amount of time we have here. To be honest, to make this is not a thing. Yeah, I feel super comfortable just shooting from the hip.
You can't just throw out your sharp tape real quick.
You don't want to fly.
You can't Stephen A.
No. I like a nasty woman. That's my Shannon Sharp tape. That's wow. There's so much to that I've never thought about that I'm gonna sleep weird tonight.
Yeah, and I'm just going to make that sleep worse. They also worry that this could quickly trickle down to people who can't give their verbal or written consent, right? That like at the point that you start to take consent from people, maybe there's somebody who's in a vegetative state who isn't able to say yes or no inside of this, and someone in their lives makes the choice for them, subsequently killing a person who may have been able to recover, or even if they couldn't, doesn't technically want this experience to happen.
I personally do feel like that is a line that I feel comfortable saying I don't think that I'm okay crossing.
That you think without the verbal or written consent, you should not be able to do that to someone else.
I think that is kind of where it starts being more black or white for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just like taking somebody's hand, like weekend and burnings-ing them to get the consent out of them, right? Like that's or be like, you know what? Yeah. He was gonna die, and I'm in the will, so let's just wrap this up before
come on,
scuba season is over.
Give me the keys to that beach house, Daddy.
Yeah. It does get icky when you start thinking about somebody who's not able to consent. I will give you the last and maybe the ickiest part from the article, for me at least, as far as like what they were afraid of or they are afraid of, is that there is an extremely thin line, they say, between coercion and free choice. And how many of our choices, if we're really thinking about it, are completely independent of somebody else's moral influence. And then how much of our choice or how many of our choices would we have played differently, do you think, if given a new set of influences around us? Right? Like part of the reason I am who I am, I do the things that I do, is because a bunch of people around me defined my morality for me. And if I were around different individuals, do I end up making other choices, i.e. wanting my organs harvested?
Yeah, I could definitely see the, like, when you got to sit through a timeshare presentation, if you ever had to do that, like,
yeah.
And then, you waited it out because you really want that free hotel stay for the night. And then they kept you there for 2 hours, and then they bring in the closer.
Yeah.
And then there's the closer who was like the one, the Mariano Rivera of closing this timeshare deal.
Yeah,
and
the closer after the closer. Yeah,
yes.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about.
And they're playing Enter Sandman, and he's like, and you don't have it. But like for a split second, you're like, he's making some sense.
No,
right?
It's like, okay, them first numbers, those weren't good. But now what he's saying, I think I can pull this off.
I think we can make it work. But except that you're like deathly sick and in probably lots of pain, maybe,
Yeah.
And then now you make this irreversible decision. Like because if you can't reverse it off your driver's license, you definitely can't reverse it in the hospital.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah, you can't be like coughing like, never mind. It's like, no, I'm not.
I made a mistake.
I said psych. I said psych.
Psych, nigga, psych. Yeah, I think it seems like the fear of this practice becoming more common is that we will eventually find ourselves taking advantage of the people who frankly are maybe least capable of defending themselves as it relates to this practice. And so in that way, it does seem like it kind of informs maybe the decision making we are already making as it relates to people's organs, whether they're consenting or not.
Yeah, I mean, damn, I thought this was going to be a funny one.
I thought we had fun.
Yeah. I did have fun.
Yeah, lots of fun. But this would have been a perfect place for a drop. This would have been a great place.
Brother, who you telling?
Just a little bit of Steven Seagal singing patois.
Come on. Me want to put on it.
Me want to put on it. Made me feel nice. I'll do it live for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, actually.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was actually really good.
Yeah.
That felt like a man who's listened to that song more than most of us.
Yeah.
Well, that's more of a man who can really identify with wanting the punani.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel nice.
That's fair.
Truer words, man.
Passionate about the punani.
I'm gonna listen to it after we're done here.
Come on, man.
Do you think he was a Russian spy while he was making that song? Or do you think that was like just a different era of the human being that he is?
I think that's the song that made the Russians approach him.
That's when they were like, hey, we got to talk to this guy.
Yeah, we gotta know.
You're like, Putin, you know how you've been asking for a funny guy to be around? This motherfucker's hilarious.
Listen to this.
Okay, what do you think he looks like? Because wait till you find out. It's going to blow your fucking mind, Vladdy.
or he recorded it to forget all the things he did for them.
Yeah.
That's like, you know what I mean? Like, at what point when a middle-aged white man is just like, yeah, I just decided to settle in the Caribbean for the rest of my life. You're like, you're running from something.
Right.
You're running from some people for sure. You're escaping extradition, no doubt.
Yeah, he did some evil shit, you're saying, he's about to go to some version of real prison, and he goes, "I'll give y'all a classic hit that could sustain this country for years." And they're like, "We're listening, Steven Seagal." And then he's like, "You want the punani?" And they're like, "We'll see you when we see you."
Come on. All debts paid.
Didn't know you had it in you. A message we can all get behind.
We didn't know you could bring this country back together. We thought it would never be fixed, but here you are.
We needed one man's voice.
Carl, can you tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Yeah, man, you can find me on Instagram at Carl Foreman Jr., just the whole government name right there. I got my one-man character show in LA. If you're in LA, I'll be doing that January 25th at the Lyric Hyperion. And I'm also hosting the Kwanzaa Bonanza Extravaganza at UCB December 16th, Saturday, 10 p.m. If y'all are around. I don't know how soon this comes out, but those are some things I got going on. And that's mainly it for me. Oh, catch my Just for Laughs set. I was a new face of comedy this year for characters. You can watch my Just for Laughs set on YouTube. You can link that through my Instagram or my website, carlforemanjr.com.
Hell yeah. Go follow Carl and do all that shit. Go see him live. Celebrate Kwanzaa with him in the funniest way possible. He's great. And Bori, where should they find you?
Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram. Still have a little bit of merch left over from my tour. Go check that out at bringdavidaplate.com. And then I'll have some dates up soon. I'm out here.
Hell yeah. And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all that shit. And if you want to send us your own drops, your own conspiracy theories, if you want to tell us why you want the punani, send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. Buy some merch. mymommatoldme.merchcentral.com. We got t-shirts, we got hats, we got pins. That's all we got. Buy something. What do you want from us? That's the best we can do. And like and subscribe, follow, whatever on all the stuff. We did it. Bye, bitch.